welcome to The Couch Modified, week number 2. This week we're talking about staying authentic and being you, something we're really big on here at Herren Project, but we've never done a video on. So someone requested this, so we're just going to give you a quick motivational talk, something that you can watch in 10 minutes and have some motivation for your upcoming weeks.
That's right.
Because most of you are honestly finishing out your last couple weeks, and then you have break, and then you're going to, hit the ground running again when January comes. So here's some inspiration if you need it. Because we are here to support, inspire, and empower folks. Boom.
There you go.
Done.
That's what we do, right? That
is what we do. So, let's start off with a question, Eric. So how do you, in your daily life, stay authentic and be you?
Yeah. So I, out of college, have a job, have to be on a level of professionalism. So there are, definitely things that, maybe if I'm having let's say a down day, for example, right? I am not going to walk up to a client and just start spilling my guts out to them. But if I have that relationship with them, I'm not going to hold back, right? Being me, I am going to, they're going to say, how you doing? I'm going to say, kind of a rough day, and we're going to have a talk. I'm not just going to shield up about it and not talk about it at all. So yeah, I can't be, spilling my guts out, as I said, and letting them know everything that happened. But I think that it's important to express how I'm feeling. And that is, as we're talking about being you, that's me, right? I firmly believe that it's important to talk about how you're feeling and what you're going to. But again, thinking about where you are, I would talk much more about it with my fiance versus when I'm at work. But also, staying authentic, being me. I have a lot of rituals that I do. Getting up. So for example, kind of walking through my morning ritual, being authentic, being me, you could say behind the scenes, when I'm not at work, I'm not in public, get up. I am very spiritual. I am really in touch with God. And for the past few years, I want to say it's been about a little over a year. I wake up and I read the Bible for 20 minutes. And if I can, before I go to bed, I read the Bible. Yeah. I'm, feeding myself with the word of the Lord, the word of God. So I become very spiritual. I become, I'm in the process of giving my life to God. So yeah, that's one of the things that, keeps me authentic, keeps me genuine. And I try to do that every single day, at least once. And then I also to get my body moving, I go for a 20-minute walk. And then I like to listen to books on tape. So that's kind of, how I start my way, kind of how I feel I get the best out of myself, my day going. And that's, kind of how I start my day and how I feel like I can be my best self, how I can present my best self during the day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. I like that.
Yeah.
I would say for me, one thing I'm really big on, like you said, is feeling your feelings.
For sure.
Not suppressing them and learning how to manage them. But also one other thing that I'm really big on is practicing things that are me things. You know what I mean? That may sound weird, but that's one way I stay me. Not only trying new things is great, but I also like to, do things that are me. Painting. I haven't been able to do that as much recently, but, sometimes it's buying things that are also me. I just got this really, really pink fluffy robe and I'm yes, this is so me. Shaping maybe what you do around who you are. So there's other things that I do that are me, that I like to channel myself through. So whether it's buying things that are girl boss, or, be my own boss fund, or, other things that also empower sides of me to come out more, that maybe aren't out on a daily basis. So, I think that's just one thing that I'm really, really, really big on is just, entertaining the parts of me that are important to me. So self-care is really important to me. Art and music is really important to me. So, I know back in middle school, I had my I had my chops busted a lot for the music taste I listened to. But obviously that was like my emo phase and I grew out of it. But like I kind of listen to like what I want, the things that bring me emotions. That you ever get goosebumps when you listen to a song?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like sometimes it's as simple as going to Michael's to buy some art supplies, some journals that I like that are just, yes, you know what I mean? And sometimes that's just your way of ensuring that you're staying you. You're buying or you're doing things or you're practicing things that are you. So if you're
Yeah.
really, really love band, practice
Yeah.
your instrument. If
For sure.
you love self-care, go take yourself on a day to Ulta or to Target and to get some stuff. I bought my robe on Amazon. It's like really comfy. But or like some of the stores that you like that also self-care
Yeah.
products. It's little things like that. Now, when I'm in a social setting, I have to. I don't like to alter myself. I just like to put myself in a different perspective. So it's easy but professional.
Yeah.
It's easy
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
fun. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And sometimes I can combine those two where I can be professional and have fun, but it really depends on who I'm working with, or who I am interacting with. Like Bonnie and Jillian, who work at the Herren Project, I can make jokes and laugh with them, and be me, but also still be professional with them. And then there's others who I just have to just be professional and you know put me on that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want to completely alter yourself and do a 360 and be someone who you're not because you have to, really get this job or really do this. Staying true to who you are and being fully authentic is one of the best ways to go about life, but just putting yourself on the scales of, okay, like right now I have to be me, but I have to be professional.
Yeah.
Right now I have to be me, but I have to step back and listen. You know what I mean?
Here's so 2 points. One thing is that you would mention, you got a robe and you do all these things that make you and you love. And I feel like one of the big things is that sometimes people, may not wear a hat because they let things creep into their head or something. They really love it, but it's like they say to themselves, people may think it looks funny, but what I say to that is we're talking about being ourselves. If I love it, if I like it, then I'm going to wear it. I'm going to do it because that's me, right? It makes me feel good about myself. So I think that's a big thing that I just wanted to touch upon. But also too, it's funny you talk about being professional when working with people, and you always, you have to have a certain amount of professionalism. But one of the things I found is I've been working where I'm working now at my gym for about 4 or 5 years. And I have found that the longer I've been working there, the more and more I've been becoming me, because I've gotten to know my boss, and I've gotten to see that, wow, he's not. And I guess it all determines, like, it's all a factor on, maybe who your boss is or whatnot. But my boss is really laid back. And so I'm able to be really laid back and I can be 100% me, so the more and more you get comfortable with the situation, you talked about a social setting, the more and more you become you and you're actually able to just express yourself.
Yeah. And going back real quick to the first thing you said about like not wearing a hat. I used to not wear hats or like skirts because I just didn't feel right in them, although I really, really wanted to wear skirts. But I'm kind of growing out of that, and I have this bucket hat. Like I used to never wear bucket hats because I thought they'd look weird on me. But I have this Sherpa bucket hat that I was like, I'm investing the 1950 into, and it is my favorite thing in the world. And if I can wear it, I will wear it. Okay, I look so like, yes, sis, when I have my beautiful coat on and then my Sherpa hat, and I'm like, yes, I may look extra, but I am vibing and I'm being me. And this is how I be me. If it's through my fashion style, if it's through the books I read, the music I listen to, the kind of art I paint, that's how I express myself. And some people, may come out and be like, why are you wearing that? And sometimes that just might be because they also don't know how to be themselves and they might feel insecure. And one thing that you can also do to promote being you and practicing it is allowing an environment that allows others to be themselves.
Yeah.
And that's what Herren Project is all about, bringing clubs and environments to schools that allow students to be themselves authentically so they don't have to turn to substances or other unhealthy coping mechanisms, because they're in an unsuitable social environment. And with what you also said is about environments and how you can be laid back with your boss and, more of yourself is coming out. I think that also comes with finding an environment where you can be you and you don't have to alter yourself. Like if you're put under stress to be this person who you're not, why stay in an environment where you can't grow?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have to find environments that make you flourish and that nurture you while also putting on yourself a scale of professionalism and still being able to joke around or, be you or have, just being you, which I think is really important.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree, without a doubt, too. Because you're in a setting where you can't be you. Well, then it's just like, so nobody knows the real me, right? No one knows who I am. I'm asking to be someone I'm not, and I don't want to be like that. Like, maybe you don't want to dress that certain way, and it's not you, and so you're not gonna thrive and flourish, as you just said, in that environment. That's a great point too.
Yeah, and sometimes we have to, unfortunately, put ourselves in uncomfortable situations. But other than that, if you can control the situation environments that you are in and that you're currently growing in right now, you're like a house plant, okay? Like think of yourself as a house plant. And your soil sometimes need to be changed because it's unsuitable and you can't grow in that environment if your soil is unsuitable and you don't have enough sun. And, do we still grow and flourish on cloudy days? Yeah. But that's because the environment that is surrounding us is good. And sometimes when we have cloudy days, we can still grow because we have that nurturing environment.
That's a great point.
I should have been a motivational speaker.
That was a great analogy with the flower and everything.
Yes, because we're all houseplants. We just need a little sun, some food, some self-care. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, I agree. But I mean, I would definitely just reiterate, because when you said, let's talk about authenticity, when we had decided that we were going to talk about this today, the first thing that came to mind is so many people just aren't themselves because of what they think others may say, judgments on them. And so I would say to them that, the only judgment I believe that truly matters is the judgment you have on you. So if you feel that hat, that skirt, that shirt, those shoes, or whatever, like whatever sports you play, that song, that instrument, go do it. If it makes you feel good about yourself, if that's your happy place, go do it. Be you, as we're talking about, right?
Exactly. People, there's always going to be a critic out there.
Oh, yeah.
So you might as well just do what makes you happy.
There you go.
Now, all of this is a lot easier said than done. And sometimes we have to really find ourselves and sometimes lose ourselves to really find who we are. And one other thing that I really want to mention is that sometimes being you also includes boundaries. If we're betraying ourselves because we're people pleasing, because we are, trying to do something that potentially betrays us, saying yes when we mean no, and other small things like that, that is really important too. If you have to set boundaries and tell people like, hey, you're crossing my boundaries right now, that is not me. Okay, I'm saying yes when I actually mean no. And sometimes saying no is hard because it's also a form of people pleasing. And now we all, I think, struggle at one point or another with people pleasing. And sometimes we betray ourselves unintentionally because we just let someone cross a boundary. So I guess like my part of staying authentic and being you is, practice things that are you. Like practice doing things and expressing yourself in ways that are you. Form boundaries. And sometimes that takes a while to really ensure that they are in place and that you have the power and the courage and the bravery to say no to someone when they are doing something you don't like. Also, finding and controlling the environments that are suitable and only allow you to grow and flourish as a person and allows you to be you authentically and fully. And
Yeah.
I think that's my last point.
Yeah. You know, I would say, I've been harping on it, but I mean, because I've gone through it, I've seen people go through it, is to, I guess you could almost say, reiterate what you were saying, to be you, do things that make you happy, do things that you like, because it's a part of what makes you you and makes you feel happy. And in a sense, you know, talking about being you makes you the best version of yourself, because it's going to make you to be in a happy place. So I would just say, you know, I think my biggest thing would be to, as you said, silence the critics, to not worry about what other people are going to think, because you're always going to have critics that are going to say something or think something, and to just worry about what makes you happy. Basically, you know, that self-care on yourself. Because if you really think about it, right, these things that make us happy, that we do, songs we listen to, instruments we play, all that stuff, that's self-care, right? That's bringing joy to our lives. So I would say just keep bringing that joy to your life, and whatever it is that makes you the best you.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to really dig deep and understand that sometimes some of these things are hard. Silencing people who are saying things and judging you, you know, setting boundaries and telling people no when you actually mean it, and calling them out when they are crossing your boundaries.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of the other little things that we all really struggle with at one point or another in our life. But the more we practice it and the more we put ourselves in the mindset, further down the line, you'll see yourself grow and you'll be like, wow, like, have you ever seen that TikTok where it's like, oh, like, haha, me, like, it's like that song where he's like, me 5 years ago.
Yes.
You know, pouting in the corner, and it's like, wow, you know what I mean? Like that's how it's going to be in 5 years when you're watching yourself now and you're like, oh, I feel like I can't say no when I actually mean it, or I can't call people out when they're crossing my boundaries, and I feel like people are walking all over me, and I feel like I can't express yourself. And then 5 years down the line, when you start practicing it more often, and, you know, really putting your heart and soul and mind into it, you're going to sit there and you're going to literally be like, wow, like 5 years, like yourself 5 years ago and 5 years like later is going to look and it's going to be like, wow, you know what I mean? Like maybe I'll make a TikTok and I'll post it.
I was just saying.
Well, thank you guys for watching so much. I think that's all we had to say about this.
Yeah.
And if you guys have any suggestions or things you want to add to this conversation, put it in the comments. And you know, if you need to talk about anything or you need to contact someone, you know who to contact. purplecouch@herrenproject.org. And
I like the suggestion. So maybe if people have a suggestion, they want us to talk about something or touch on something, put that in the comment section below, and we can talk about it, touch upon it.
Yeah. Or if you had anything to add to this conversation for others to see, definitely put it in the comments.
Without a doubt.
Thank you, everyone. We will see you in 2 weeks for the Purple Couch Year in Review. Woo! And go check us out on TikTok, because Eric and I are going to do TikTok.
For sure.
Bye.